Hello and welcome to my channel. This is the Techish, and in this video I'm going to be solving the 2022 Elective ICT Practical NOV question, to be specific the QBASIC question. But before we actually get into anything else, I would appreciate if you could support my channel by giving this video a thumbs up and also hitting the subscribe button and the bell to get notified whenever I upload a new video. So without any further delays, let's get started with this tutorial. Alright, so this is the question. Let me just maximize the window size. So this is the question, and let me also increase the font size so that you guys can see. So it says, write a program in QBASIC to generate the sum of even numbers from 2 to 100. Alright, the program should display on screen 1. Candidate full name and index number, 2. All the even numbers from 2 to 100, 3. The sum of the even numbers from 2 to 100, and finally save the program as even underscore number underscore sum in the folder created on the desktop. Okay, so that's the question. So I'm going to be saving this QBASIC file in this folder I've created. So you can see I use my initials and index number. Now this is not really mine. This is something I just randomly generated. So you should use your name, initials, and then your row index number when you are doing your NOV or WASI practicals. So just keep that in mind. Alright, so now that I've read the question, let's just open up our QBASIC IDE and start getting into the solution. So if you've watched my previous tutorial, you know that I first typed the solution to the code and afterwards I explained what actually goes on. So that is what I'm going to do in this video as well. So now just sit down, relax, and watch as I type. Alright, so now here's the solution to the problem, and it's time for me to explain what is going on. So now let me just have the question here at the side so that we can see both things. Okay, so the question said the program should display on screen 1. Candidate full name and index number. So in order for us to do this, we had to basically get this information from them first before we could print it out. So line 2 and line 3 was what we used for that. We used the input statement to get their full name and then their index number. So their name was stored in this name variable, and the index number was also stored in this index underscore number variable. Now the reason why the index underscore number variable has a $sign is because we wanted to make it a string variable, and the reason for that is sometimes index numbers are not just numbers. They may contain alphabet and even special characters. So for the safety purpose, we just decided, okay, string variable. That is why we added a $sign. And now on line 6 and 7, we printed out the candidate's full name is whatever name the user entered, and the same thing for the index number. So question 1 was accomplished from line 2 to 7. Now the question 2, which says the program should display on screen all the even numbers from 2 to 100. So that is done basically on line 11 and 12, but you would say 11 to 14. So we use the for loop to do line 2. And here's how the for loop works. So the for loop basically it starts looping from 2 to 100, and it increments in a step of 2. So you can see it says for even underscore number is equal to 2. So this 2 gets assigned to this variable, and it's saying, but once again, this is also considered the starting index, and 100 is the ending index because it says from 2 to 100. So start from 2 and end at 100. Now we say step 2. Basically, we are telling it how to move from 2 to 100, and we are telling it that we should move from 2 to 100 in a step of 2, which means that 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2 until we get to 100. So it's going to be 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. Now, if you've noticed, I've basically mentioned even numbers. So because of the step 2, we are now getting only the even numbers. So since we are now getting the even numbers, what we need to do is now to print it, and that is what we do on line 12. So basically, whatever number we get is going to be assigned to this variable even underscore number, and that is what we print on line 12. So as the program starts, the first value that is assigned to this even underscore number variable is 2. So on line 12, it's going to print out 2. Then the step 2 statement you have over here is now going to take its action, and it's going to increment this starting index by 2. So it's now going to be 4. Now 4 gets assigned to this even underscore number variable, and once again line 12 prints out the 4, and it keeps going until it gets to 100. So that is how we accomplish the second part of the question, which is print all even numbers from 2 to 100. And now the third part is where we created this sum variable on line 10. So currently the value was 0. So every time we get an even number, it's basically the sum variable keeps adding it to itself. So it says sum is equal to sum plus the even number we are printing. So you can see it's currently 0. So when the program starts, it's going to be sum is equal to 0 plus 2, making a new value of sum 2. Now sum is currently 2. So when this increments and becomes 4, it's going to be sum is equal to 2 plus 4, and which is going to be 6. So at the end of the day, as we are looping from 2 to 100 and we are printing out all the even numbers, the sum variable is adding up all of them, and the final result of the sum of even numbers from 2 to 100 is going to be 2550. So that is pretty much it. That is how this code literally works. Now the next thing I want to do is to test it to prove to you that it's really working. So let's run it by pressing F5. Okay, so it says enter your full name. So let's say my name is James Blonde, and then my index number, so something random. So you can see it says candidate full name James Blonde. It also prints out our index number, and now you can see how neatly it has printed out all the even numbers from 2 to 100. So you can see it displayed it side by side, and when it got to the end of the line, it continued on the next line. Now the reason why it displayed it in this form is because we used a semicolon after this. If we hadn't used it, it would display it in such a way that we wouldn't see all the even numbers. So to prove this, let me just close this first. And now let's take out this semicolon, right? So you can see that I've taken it out. Run it again and see what happens. Okay, so let's enter something like this, and look at what happens. So you can see it does display the even numbers, but now we can't see the starting points. The reason is because the output screen is too small to display everything. And to fix this problem, I decided, okay, then I'm going to add a semicolon. So that is why I added a semicolon. Now let's run it again and see. Okay, so let's say James Blonde, index number, and now you can see it's back to normal. So that is the reason for the semicolon. Now another question someone might be asking, why are these print statements there if they have nothing there? Now these print statements are there to create new lines and blank spaces so that the output looks nice. Now you can see that after we enter their index number, there's a blank space here before we print out these details. It's because of this print statement you have over here. The same thing for the blank space here, the print statement you have over here. Now let me show you what happens when I take out these two print statements. So let's run it and see what happens. So let's enter our name, James Blonde, index number, and see. You can see that now it's displaying the sum of even numbers from 2 to 100 is 2550, but see the way it's displaying it. It's not very easy to see. So the output doesn't look neat. Now if we were to add one print statement like this, what would happen is it will just bring it to the next line right beneath it. So when we run it, see what happens. James Blonde. Nope. Okay. So you can see that now this time it just brings it right beneath it. But in my opinion, I think a blank line would make it look neater, like the way it was before. So in order to create another blank line, I decided, okay, let me add another print keyword, or I mean statement, like this. So at the end, this is the final result. Enter full name, James Blonde, index number, and now you can see we get a final result and everything looks nice and it's neat. So you can also see that it says the sum of even number from 2 to 100 is 2550. So everything is working alright and we are literally done. Now the next thing to do, which is the last thing, is to save this program as even underscore number underscore sum in the folder created on a desktop. So to do that, you just click on File, Save As, and you're going to see something like this. Now you need to locate your folder you created. Now I'm already in the folder, but I'm assuming that some of you are not. So if that's the case, I want you to look for this C drive. So C with a colon, and double click on it. Then you're going to look for users. So users is over here. Double click on that as well. And after you double click on that, look for your PC name. So mine is the Turkish. So you can see that's over here. And then look for desktop. So desktop is over here. Now you should see the folder you created. That is if you created it on your desktop. So in this case, DD with the random index number I gave it. Double click on that, and now we can save our file. So according to the question, it said even underscore number underscore sum. And then after you've typed it, click on OK. And that is pretty much it. You've saved the file. So now let's approve of this by going into the file. And now you can see it says even underscore number underscore sum .bas. Once again .bas is the file extension for a QBASIC file. For these other files, they are the previous tutorial videos I made. So that is pretty much it. I hope you guys understood everything. If you did, then please don't forget to support my channel by giving this video a thumbs up, also hitting the subscribe button and the bell so that you get notified whenever I upload a new video. And follow me on Instagram. The link is going to be in the description below. My Discord server is up, and I would like you guys to join. We can communicate there. So I'll also have the link in the description. So thank you guys, and see you guys in the next one.